as ministers in the temple of justice.
For anyone on the bench of the Nigerian judiciary, this chamber is the ultimate.
Let us all strive to maintain the independence of the judiciary so as to ensure the rule of law.
And the fact that the ministry is responsible for prosecution of cases makes the ministry very visible naturally.
If it is to buy time, you know who is buying time.
Becoming the first woman in the country to discharge the function. To me, Allah wished it that way.
Welcome to the program, The Scale of Justice.
Tune in every Monday at 2:05 p.m. and repeat broadcast comes up every Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. on the network service of the NTA. Keep a date with us.
A new legal year has commenced in Nigeria, and while most people always look forward to the happenings in the Supreme Court, like the swearing in of new senior advocates of Nigeria and the speech of the Chief Justice of Nigeria as being the main thing that flags up the new legal year, there are various other courts in Nigeria that are at liberty to draw up their calendar in synchrony with the main calendar of the legal year in Nigeria. One of such courts is the Federal High Court, which actually has ended its own vacation and has started working for the new legal year. The activities of the Federal High Court will form the focus of the scale today. Welcome to the program. I am Femi Okeowo. What will the Nigerian judicial system be without the Federal High Court? This is a court that is said to have the widest jurisdiction and has a great spread across the country. And of course, because of its significance in the judicial system of Nigeria, everyone looks at the contribution of this court to the improvement of the rule of law in Nigeria. And so when the court opened the 2018-2019 legal year, the scale found it compelling to look at what that court would be planning for this new legal year and the challenges ahead of it. And so the activities of the Federal High Court as it marks a new legal year is our focus on the scale today. Enjoy the program.
The 2018-2019 Legal Year and Judges Conference will afford judges and legal luminaries an opportunity to assess their performance and, of course, fashion out ways of assuring fast and easy dispensation of justice in Nigeria. Improving the speedy dispensation of justice through the introduction of information and communication technology in recording court proceedings and all aspects of the court took center stage at the event as judges sought ways of overcoming the challenges experienced in the previous legal year.
Also within this period, and in order to dispose of most of the pending terrorism cases, I issued a practice direction which enabled our judges to travel to Kainji to hear and determine some of the terrorism cases pending there. The judges have done extremely well and I appreciate them for their service to the nation. The judges are Honorable Justice B.M.F. Nyako, Honorable Justice B. Okodri, Honorable Justice Y.S. Bogoro, and Honorable Justice N.O. Dimba. Now, the attempt to postpone any hiccups and the blame on the court by political gladiators, I have during this vacation issued a circular that interim orders ex parte shall not be granted if any political cases brought before the court. I believe that controversies, especially in the political cases, can be reduced when the court takes a decision after hearing all the parties in the case. It is also extremely important that all political cases that may affect any of the parties which are still pending in any of our courts be concluded before, without further waste of time, to afford all candidates the opportunity to pursue their political ambitions. Honorable judges before whom such cases are still pending must endeavor to conclude them before the end of October. It is also my hope that some more judges will be appointed before the end of this administration. I would also like to assure all of our judges and staff that their welfare will be accorded the necessary attention as in the past, if not better. For a start, I have improved upon the welfare packages for judges immediately upon assumption of office. I also insisted that in spite of the increment financial position of the court, judges and staff must undergo their annual workshop and medical checkup as a well due. I have no doubt that we are all well refreshed to face the challenges that may arise during the course of the new legal year. I wish to use this opportunity to appreciate judges and staff of the Federal High Court for their hard work and dedication. I urge your lordships to be wary in handling all cases, and especially cases concerning political parties and the upcoming general elections. We should again use this court and the Constitution to regulate our society for the good of our children and mankind. I still believe that the judiciary remains the hope of all people, whether common or uncommon. It is therefore your duty to ensure that the society is molded in accordance with the rule of law and the Constitution. You must therefore administer justice without fear or favor. I also urge the staff to continue to offer their auxiliary high-caliber service to the public and the court. I appreciate you all. The court during my time will continue to ensure that your welfare takes a first-line charge in our expenditure profile. During the period, the library will be further equipped with more books and other essential requirements. We will continue to update our Federal High Court law reports and upgrade our internet connection services. We will also continue to upgrade some of the quarters of judges who require renovation and repairs to ensure that judges are comfortable. Library services will continue to be provided to residences of judges within the limits of available resources.
Other stakeholders were applauding the judiciary for its role in ensuring a voice for the voiceless and keeping the unity of Nigeria through quality judgments.
The 2018 and 2019 legal year is unique as it is the first for the Federal High Court under the leadership of His Lordship, Honorable Justice Africa Farati, after the confirmation of his appointment as the Chief Judge of the Distinguished Court. I congratulate Your Lordship, and I am convinced that under this guidance, this court will consolidate the aims of the past and have an additional opportunity to reassert itself as a critical stakeholder in the ongoing initiative to propel our judiciary to a new standard of excellence and credibility. In the light of crucial constitutional mandate of this court, and I urge the court to take urgent steps to facilitate the speedy dispensation of justice and engender greater public interest in and confidence in the court. In undertaking the above, permit me to suggest that our judges must always strike the appropriate balance between the personal rights of litigants and overall good of the society, both of which can mutually coexist. In this manner, the judiciary will play its role actively as an agent of social change and reorientation without necessarily sacrificing its core mandate of protecting the rights of all individuals and institutions in an efficient and humane manner. Let me also appeal that judicial officers must equally ensure that the credibility of their offices and their sense of personal integrity remain unimpeachable at all times in order to promote greater confidence of the public in the judiciary. I trust that the promotion of these values will continue to be a priority for the Federal High Court in the legal year.
Your Lordships therefore have the unique advantage of being periodically transferred from one division of the court to another, and in that process, Your Lordships get to work in, know and understand all the different component units of the Nigerian Federation, and also appreciate the different quirks and idiosyncrasies of the peoples.
It's very obvious that the previous year you have an avalanche of cases, and it does mean that more will still come because it's a dynamic structure in the society. So they need to be praised too.
According to data released by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, 17,076 new cases were recorded in the past legal year, bringing the total cases pending before the Federal High Court to 191,766, while 15,000 cases were disposed of in the last legal year.
The conference is a training and retraining platform for the judges on emerging trends and issues, not only in the judiciary, but also in the polity generally.
The conference has always been a stock-taking event for judges to converge and reflect upon the activities of the Federal High Court, thereby providing an insight into what has been achieved and projects a better future. It also provides a platform for judges to strategize on the means of adopting global best practices to meet critical challenges in the dispensation of justice to all. My lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Section 251 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, amongst others, has placed upon you much more responsibility bordering on interpretation and enforcement, which should be in conformity with rules of court and practice directions issued by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court to address challenges. Well, this duty, no doubt, imposes on you a lot of obligations and conscious effort. You should at all times be prepared to perform this role expeditiously and with minimum cost to the litigants. My brother judges, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, We are all aware of the increase in tempo of political activities as we approach election year. Our nascent democracy has to be nurtured, consolidated, and developed. We are working assiduously to ensure that we clean our house and completely dump the unfortunate toga of corruption that had plagued the judiciary for some time. With your cooperation and commitment, we shall once again steer this nation to the path of transparency and good governance. At the just concluded 18th Triennial Conference of the Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Association held in Brisbane, Australia, with the theme Becoming Stronger Together, I witnessed the collective resolve of judicial officers and judiciaries of the Commonwealth nations to stem the tide of impunity, bad governance, intimidation of judicial officers, and other vices that threaten judicial independence. I was particularly happy that speaker after speaker emphasized the universal truth that the respect for the rule of law remains the backbone and pillar of any democracy. I have maintained this view and reinforced it at every given opportunity. We must all therefore seize this pivotal moment of history. I urge you to shun corruption in all its ramifications and encourage the sustainability of your determined effort to promote transparency and good governance in our body politic. I am confident that your efforts in line with the rule of law will stamp out corruption and enthrone an enviable democracy characterized by justice, equity, transparency, and good governance. My lords, as the election year draws closer, your courts will be flooded with applications bordering on pre- and post-election matters requiring adjudication. No doubt, election litigation is an inevitable part of the electoral process. While INEC has the responsibility to conduct and manage elections, the judiciary, on its part, is charged with the responsibility of resolving disputes arising from the process. We must therefore ensure that matters brought before our courts are determined on their merits, devoid of any external interference, to ensure the sustenance of the independence of the judiciary. In view of the foregoing, therefore, there is a proposal for a collaborative workshop between the Independent National Electoral Commission and the National Judicial Institute for justices and judges on pre-election and post-election matters, the bulk of which are adjudicated upon by federal High Court judges.
Everyone's focus for now seems to be on the 2019 general elections, which is why speakers and guests called on the judiciary generally and the judges of the Federal High Court in particular to work towards increasing the confidence of Nigerians on that arm of government.
It is hoped that the eventual appointment of 9 new judges to the Federal High Court bench in June this year will help in disposing over 100 cases pending in our courts across the country. It is our hope that more judges will be appointed in the course of this administration to further reduce the ever-increasing workload. The purpose of this conference is to take stock and appraise our judicial functions in the previous year and to resolve knotty issues which may have arisen after the previous legal year. Thereafter, we rededicate ourselves to the law and the Constitution and continue to carry out our functions fearlessly. I wish again to advise your lordships, particularly the new judges, never to grant ex parte orders unless in exceptional cases. I believe that it is better to hear all sides before the decision is taken, and with that there will be less controversy in the adjudication process. It is important that extra care is taken in handling these political cases because of their nature. Actions or inactions by a judge, no matter how honestly done, is capable of misinterpretation. It is therefore necessary and important that we guard our lawyers in order not to be caught unawares. We have in addition invited experts in various key areas of law to talk to our judges on the recent developments in their fields to keep our judges up to date. My lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, apart from our core functions of adjudication, we also try to take good care of our judges' health. In this regard, practitioners from diverse areas of medicine will be addressing our judges on how to keep healthy lifestyle concerning the nature of their work.
We see that it's going to be an interesting legal year for the Federal High Court because, as we have all seen, it's the election year, the election season. So we expect a lot of activities going on in the courts everywhere throughout the country. And so my wish for them is that God will give them wisdom, God will be with them and allow them to dispense justice without fear or favor in this new legal year. And as the Honorable Chief Judge has said, they should be careful about giving ex parte orders at this time, particularly in political matters. Because, you know, like he also said, it could be misconstrued or misunderstood. So I pray for wisdom for them and that they will grow, they will keep to their oath and to the law.
Today in Nigeria is in the first position of all courts in Nigeria because of its wide jurisdiction, covering an expanse that is beyond any other court in the country. And the Federal High Court also has presence in all the states of the Federation. And so it's a very important court in the system of the judicial settlement of disputes in the country.
What word do you have for the court as they begin another year, particularly the 2018-2019 year, which seems to be a very significant year in the politics?
Yeah, in addition to the challenges that the Federal High Court will face from litigations arising from election processes. One of the greatest problems we have in the country is the slow pace of judicial decision-making. We pray that the Federal High Court should rise to that challenge and for the first time tackle very strongly the problem of slow trial process in this country. It's killing the economy, it's killing investment, it's killing every known form of civilization. We should, for the first time, deal with it in this new legal year.
You have had the inputs of various people to the assignment given to the Federal High Court. You also have had the major calls by the Chief Judge of that court as to how that court can do well and contribute to the improvement of our democracy, particularly in a year when Nigerians are expecting a flawless election. And you know that the process of elections are not complete without the judicial contribution, because by coincidence, a lot of cases always end up at the court. So let's hope that the Federal High Court will rise up to these challenges, not just political challenges, but also economic challenges, because most of the financial crimes too are tried at the Federal High Court. It's on that note that we want to thank you for being part of today's program. We certainly would be on top of many other issues that are unfolding, particularly in this very active part of the year. We'll see you again.